verse 11. In him you were also circumcised with a circumcision not performed by human hands. Your whole self, ruled by the flesh, was put off when you were circumcised by Christ. What? Just got weird. My third and final point is Jesus severs our sin nature. I'm nervous up here. I'm like, circumcision. And Jesus severs our sin nature. There's only two places in the world where it's normal to talk about circumcision, okay? One is the church, and two is the nursery and the hospital when you just had a son, and that's it. Like, you can't just bring that up at your work lunch, you know? Hey, guys, what do you guys think about circumcision, you know? And here's why, and it's about to get graphic, and I'm doing this strategically, not to just try to distract you, but I mean, we're talking about removing the foreskin from a penis, okay? It's silly, I know, it's okay. But listen, here's why I say it like that. Because that's what he's talking about. Like, it's crazy. Like, all of a sudden he's writing, he's like, yeah, the fullness of Christ, and, you know, Christ has the fullness of God and circumcision. What? So why is it relevant? There's an incredible theological, profound reality in this. That as a shadow of the one who would come, who would remove our flesh, which is just another word for our sinful nature, our sinful desire. For thousands of years, God's people were set apart, specifically males, were set apart by the removal of that skin from that very sensitive area, which in males, frankly, is the organ that drives them to a lot of their sin nature, right? It's a metaphor, but it's a shadow of what was to come. It's incredible. Think about it. I mean, still a common practice today. And it started with God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, said, hey, I want you to do this. And then Jesus comes, and Paul writes, he says, hey, Jesus, I'll read it to you again. In him, you also were circumcised with a circumcision not performed by human hands, not by doctor's hands, but your whole self, ruled by the flesh, was put off when you were circumcised by Christ. Jesus comes in your life and removes your sin nature. What does that mean? He removes your desire to sin. And you say, wait, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. When you are yielding to your master, you are not sinning. When you are sinning, you've left the farm. You said, hey, I no longer want to be ruled by you, and I'm going to go look for another master. Today it's Patron, tomorrow it's this, that, the other, whatever that is for you. Pornography, cocaine, materialism, whatever, the list goes on and on. Shame, guilt, religiosity, self-righteousness, whatever that is for you. Legalism. I've left the reservation, I'm now ruled by another master. But when I'm ruled by the one who gave me the circumcision of my heart, removing my flesh, I'm not in sin. I'm finding life to its fullness. I have his fullness. This is so important for us to grasp. It's why I start so vulgar, because Paul does it. He's grabbing your attention with a huge word, a grotesque concept to make a point. This is what Jesus does to your heart. When you were born again in Christ, there was a change in your heart that occurred. The things you enjoyed in sin become more difficult to enjoy. Let me say it a different way. That which was irresistible becomes resistible in Jesus. Where one day you were like, I can't not do that. And now it's like, I don't want to do that. While there's still something inside of me that wants to do that, as I yield to you, Christ, I don't want to do that. In fact, your spirit in me convicts me when I do that. Not so that I feel shame. You've removed the shame. You nailed it to the cross. We'll talk about next week. But you've given me a spirit to follow. Before conversion, I could sin and delight in it. I would not have pause. I wouldn't care about the girl. If I pretended to care about her, that was just me running game. I mean, that was me trying to be sensitive. I didn't care about her. But then after conversion, I couldn't continue to do those things without caring. Do you see what the Spirit of God did there? I began to feel convicted. My heart was circumcised. Jesus curbs your appetite so that you could come to a place where you say, God, what would you have me do? I no longer want to do what I want to do, what my appetite says I should do, what my lustful flesh says I should do. God, what would you have me do?